Well, I just watched Civil War and wow, is it one of the best Marvel movies ever. Hello everyone, this is ICABase here and today we're going to take a look at Civil War. More specifically, I want to talk about Zemo. Hello everyone, this is ICABase from the future while I'm editing this video and well, the title of this video ended up being an absolute lie because I did talk about Zemo, but it's towards the end of this video. In the entire video, I'm just basically gushing over how amazing this movie is. So if you want to know more about Zemo, just move on around 8-minute-ish mark of this video. Yeah, it took me that long to actually start talking about Zemo. So yeah, this is it for me from the future. Kapow. I'm out. Now, we all know that Marvel doesn't have the reputation for the best villains in the movies, but with Thanos, I think that kind of changed. A lot of people love Thanos. I definitely think Thanos is an awesome character. He's one of my favorite Marvel movie villains, if not my favorite comic book villains of all time, right next to Joker from The Dark Knight. But I think we are forgetting another great villain. Let's talk about it. I watched the movie Civil War and again it was such an amazing movie. I just found it amazing from the beginning to the end. It had like constant action. It was just packed from top to bottom. Like every single frame of that movie, there was not a single wasted moment. Like everything connected to something that was about to happen. Not a single moment of this movie was wasted on anything menial. Every frame of this movie was contributing to something important to the plot. Man, like watching this movie made me really nostalgic for the old Marvel, like back then we didn't really knew what we had until we lost it and then we got phase 4 and phase 5 is not looking any better so far. But yeah, like watching this movie, man, like those were the best of the days. That was, I think, Marvel being at its peak. Like Iron Man, Captain America, like God, like that was so good. Like I can't even explain how nostalgic I felt. Like God, this movie is old. This came out in like 2016. Like I feel old now. But yeah, the fight scenes in this movie were really, really great and impactful. Especially the airport battle. Like a lot of people make like fun of that, like it's supposed to be funny, but no, I think that was really well directed fight scenes that were fun to watch. You really get to see the characters sort of riff off from one another, like they combine their powers, and yeah, like Wanda and Hawkeye sort of teaming up and fighting. That was really fun to watch. And this movie also had the first appearance of Spider-Man, and you really get to see Spider-Man go toe to toe against most of the Avengers, like Spider-Man casually fighting with the Winter Soldier and just really easily holding his punch just like that. Like it was easy for him. But the thing that I really, really liked about this movie was basically the conflict. Like if you remember, this movie was released on the same year as Batman vs. Superman was released, and a lot of people, including me, criticized that movie because Batman and Superman basically just didn't have enough of a reason to fight, or if they did, that kind of a conflict could have been resolved by just simply talking. Like, but in Civil War, the kind of conflict you had, you couldn't just solve it by talking. Like, it just came down to I'm right and you're wrong from both sides, and you understood both sides equally. And for me, I definitely understood where Tony Stark came from. Obviously, it's my favorite superhero. I've already mentioned that before in my previous videos. But yeah, like from the movie one, like Iron Man 1, Tony Stark has been very consistent as a character. Like his character arc has been really consistent from movie 1, from Iron Man 1, which is why I really, really love Iron Man, which is why he's one of the most popular Marvel characters, because the Marvel Cinematic Universe started from him. He's had the longest character arcs in this universe, and all of that really pays off in this movie, where he's sort of trying to make amends He wants to make amends badly. He's lost, like he's messed up so much with Ultron, and now he just wants to make the world a better place, and he doesn't know how to do that. And on the other hand, you have Captain America, who really believes that his friend wasn't the one who killed T'Challa's father, and he also believes in freedom, and he thinks that Avengers should be able to respond openly to any conflict, and they should be able to make their decisions by themselves rather than having any government body ruling over them, which is a sentiment that you definitely can understand. Like, Captain America definitely has a point, but again, like, Tony also has a point, because Avengers have definitely caused a lot of casualties. So you see, like, both of their points are so valid, and you cannot avoid conflict at this point. And let's talk about the meat of this video, the reason why I made this video in the first place. Zemo. Helmut Zemo. I really liked his character when the first time I watched this movie, and I think I kind of liked this more because you kind of pick up on details that you missed before. So Zemo is kind of set up as a surprise villain, like you don't really know what's going on. In fact, you don't even know who the hell this character is that you keep seeing over and over again. I mean, if you may have watched the trailer, you might understand who this character is, but you don't really know what this character is about and what he's up to. Everything he's been doing since the beginning of this movie is so clandestine. Like, he's just working in the shadows, doing stuff that you don't understand. I think this is why most people dismiss him or just kind of forget about him in the first place, as one of the best Marvel villains ever, because he doesn't even get a proper screen time, or when he does, people don't understand what he's doing. In fact, you properly understand what Zemo is all about towards the end of this movie, when all of his exploits sort of surface and our characters sort of figure out what Zemo is all about. Like, Captain America was running around the entire movie trying to stop Zemo because he thought that Zemo wanted to like rule over the world and bring down an empire, because that's the best thing you had, because Zemo said that he wanted to bring down an empire. We didn't really know what he meant by that. So our characters just run around the entire movie trying to stop him from activating those Winter Soldiers towards the end of the movie, and well, towards the end of the movie, there you are standing, and well, the Winter Soldiers are all dead. And who killed him? Zemo. So Zemo didn't want it Winter Soldiers, so what's this all about? Empire toppling over? Well, no. He was referring to the Avengers. And well, he does exactly that. He shows Tony Stark the video of Bucky Barnes killing his parents, which obviously starts a conflict. I think Tony sort of started to fight because, well, Bucky did kill his parents, but Captain America, even though he knew, like, he kept this a secret from Tony. Like, if I knew like something like this was being kept from me, from my best friend, like, I know I would be really pissed as hell as well. But yeah, you do see that conflict. Like, the airport battle, like, that was really nice, but it was this battle that really was the highlight of this movie, at least for me, because in the airport battle, people were pulling their punches. They were trying to not hurt the other person too much, because at the end of the day, they were friends. But this fight, man, everything changed. They were no pulling the punches. They were just going hard at one another, like punching, kicking, like that was just the best. Like, again, these are the kinds of fights that you can find on YouTube. So you can just watch that again to kind of refresh that fight, how awesome that fight was. Like, I watched the entire movie, and it is really, really amazing. Like, let's get back to Zemo, because the entire reason why I made this video is to talk about, and now I don't have enough to talk about him. I guess that just goes to show you how little Zemo had to play in this movie. I kind of wish that he had more screen time in this movie, but at the same time, I think if he had more screen time in the movie, it would have destroyed the element of surprise that you get towards the end of the movie. And the motivation of his character is really well established as well. Like, he lost his entire family during the Sokovia attack with the Ultron and everything. And towards the beginning of the movie, you see Zemo talking on the phone, and he's talking to a woman, and you're like, who's this woman he keeps talking to throughout the entire movie? And then towards the end, you kind of realize that there is no other woman on the other side of the phone. It was just a recording of his wife. He was just listening to the recording and talking to his wife who's passed away, and it kind of breaks your heart. But yeah, again, I really liked Zemo, and I think he isn't talked about enough. And to be honest, when I watched The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, my favorite part of the entire show was when Zemo showed up. Every time he was on the screen, like I just had so much fun. Like he was the best part of that show. But yeah, I think that's about it for this video. I think this is long enough already, and that's all I had to talk about. So let me know what you guys think about this movie. And as always, it's time for a goodbye.